soft to hard, from dense to very porous. And it can really explore how materials could vary its structures across the surface. So basically, these materials could be soft when they need to be. They can be active instead of passive. Also use variety of actuation systems such as soft robotics, shape memory alloy, various smart materials to activate these materials, similar to our muscle systems. I've been also working with various form of sensory technologies, from various biometric sensors, such as brain-computer interface, and I'm very happy to see some of the students here use EEG for really thinking about how they can use emerging technologies in their designs. But I also experimented with various computer vision technologies, such as facial and gaze tracking technologies, to explore whether we can recognize human emotions or physiological states. We're also exploring robotics and use of industrial robotic arm, not only for human-robot interaction, which is absolutely fascinating, but also we are interested to use robot for developing novel materials using biodegradable, bio-inspired materials. For instance, currently in our lab, we're working on two scales of the projects. One is using melt spinning, and the other is using electrospinning for developing materials that can vary from nanoscales to macro scales using robotic fabrication. I've been commissioned by Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago for designing a fashion piece for their permanent collections. I was inspired by hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are amazing creatures. They change the color of their feathers from dark green to magenta with a twist of their head. So I've been wondering how we can learn from this process and how can we develop materials that not only change color but also change shape. We decided to fabricate electromagnetic actuators in-house. We decided it was a simple decision in the beginning, but it actually went through a lot of process of iteration and making to really make sure that these mechanical systems are able to flip from one side to another. We use material that can change color as these electromagnetic actuators flipping between one side and another. So the process of making these actuators went through a lot of iteration and experimentations, which is the essence of what we do today in our lab as well. So a lot of time experimenting with novel fabric, with ways that we can develop our own actuation system, our own electrical system. These are something that I was very proud of also in this project. So all aspects of it, from software to hardware, was completely custom made. We decided to make this piece out of 250 electromagnetic actuators. These electromagnetic actuators, they're modular systems. So if something breaks down, the museum staff can take the components out and replace it with a new piece. The Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago has about 1.5 million visitors per year, and the piece is running from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. So it was very important to really think about kinetic components as something that it can be robust enough, that it's able to run on daily basis. And this piece consists of 250 actuators, 40 driver boards, 4 microcontrollers, 1 small camera, and all of these were embedded in the facial expressions. The garment has different responses. So if the wearer's eyes is closed or if she's blind, she can still hear what facial expressions people are expressing through their faces and where they are located in the space. We're witnessing an erosion of boundaries from disciplines, of architects that they're working in other fields than architecture, from jewelry design to fashion design to film industry. And we decided to co-edit an issue of architectural design called 3D printed body architecture in 2017 to capture this moment where we saw a lot of architects doing other forms of architecture. We call it body architecture. And similarly, in 2023, I co-edited a critical feminist perspective. Critical feminist perspective? What happened when we return the gaze? What does it mean to observe and to be observed? And how is power negotiated through the act of looking? What if you could feel someone else's gaze? Is the name of this piece is a 3D printed multimaterial cape equipped with gaze tracking technology that responds to the onlooker's gaze. I would argue that it's not only a piece of innovation, but it also addresses larger social gender issues. So it has a see the onlooker's gaze, and based on where the onlooker is looking, it moves. So if you're the wearer, you know which part of your body is being looked at, and if you're the onlooker, you know that your action has been noticed because you see the movements. So it potentially changed the social interaction. These are intriguing historical masks worn by Bandari women from southern part of Iran. Legend has been said that these masks were developed during the Portuguese colonial rule as a way of protecting the women from the gaze of a slave master looking for attractive women. While these masks cover most of the face except the eyes, I was wondering how eyes could be used as a communication. And in my research, I came across this interesting incident in which American officer Admiral Jeremiah Denton blinked the word torture using Morse code during his captivity in Vietnam. So I was very inspired by ways that eyes could be used for communication. Inspired by the historical mask worn by these women and also a story of American officer sending secret messages using his blinking these robotic masks where they can communicate with one another. So there is a machine learning algorithm that generates words or letters, and every time the letters translate to Morse code and to uh, uh, rapid successions of these artificial eyelashes. The aim is to sow anxiety within these patriarchal structures and by developing a new language for these women that no one else can understand and voice to this marginalized community. I was approached by to subvert this power structure. Returning the Gaze is a robotic installation which really explored this scenario. So in the center, there is a model who's wearing this custom-made helmet. The helmet is equipped with two small microscopic camera. Her eyes are. I've learned about the tragic stories of protesters from Iran who got permanently blinded as they shot in the eye by military forces using rubber bullets. And soon I realized that this story happened all around the world, in Hong Kong, in India, in the US after George Floyd, in Chile. Despite the fact that these protesters are often peaceful, their nonviolent means of expressing political objection have been perceived as violence. And I decided to make an immersive installation which uses the victim's gaze to. Okay, I know this last project was very intense, so I want to invite you to take a deep breath, take a deep breath, and let yourself settle. And I want you to think about your life and your future. What do you dream of becoming? What are you longing for? What have you been feeling lately? What are you unwilling to feel? And here I'm excited to share our last projects in the group. Ask, what if public building could share our dreams and fears? So this is Gaze to the Stars. It's a larger scale public art project that transformed the MIT Great Dome to a storytelling vehicle, to see the dome as emotional interface, a canvas for dreams, fears, and shared humanities.